Hi guys, I wanted to keep reading our Mick book, so we're going to start in chapter 4 and see if we can get through 1 or 2 chapters today. Okay then, tomorrow while you boys go to the museum, Sissy, Aunt Marissa, and I will go shopping for a bit, said Mom. Sissy's attitude had completely changed, and I thought to myself how spoiled she was. But I guess I did have to remember that she got us through quite a few close calls in the last couple of months, especially with the aliens. We were really lucky we were still alive. Nathan and I continued looking at the Henry Ford Museum website and planned on which exhibits we would check out. The museum was filled with tons of different historical stuff dating back to the 17th century to the present. Old cars and trains and even planes, some of them so old they'd been around during World War II, so they had lots of history to them, a lot of unknown history. Dad was back on the phone with Mr. Suarez, deciding on the best place to stay while giving directions to Uncle Hayden. The Mythmobile slowly exited the expressway and went over the bridge as he followed the directions to the hotel. When we pulled in, we saw that the hotel just happened to be next to a huge mall. Yippee! Sissy screamed at the top of her lungs. I thought to myself that it was probably a good thing, because that way, just the guys could stroll around the museum for a change. The Mythmobile pulled to the front of a huge glass high-rise hotel and parked. Sweet, we're staying here? I asked. Awesome, said Nathan. We never stay at fancy places. This was a first. We decided this would be a great way to wrap up a long summer, and you can thank our director for adding to the Uncover Station budget for that, Dad said as Mr. Suarez hopped up the steps into the Mythmobile. Gracias, Papa, squealed Nathan as he hugged his dad. We all began to thank Mr. Suarez as we grabbed our gear. Since he was the director of the Myth Solver show, he worked tightly with the line producer, who handled all the money while we were filming. He had given him a quick call and got our visit to Dearborn and a fancy hotel stay approved. We were so excited, we had no idea of the dangers that lurked ahead. Oh, this chapter is really small, so we'll read this one too. This is chapter 5. We all piled out of the Mythmobile and greeted the crew. They were looking forward to some relaxation and some sightseeing too. As Nathan and I walked into the hotel with everyone, we were surprised to see that the hotel was huge. It had lots of fancy couches and chairs and sitting areas and huge glass elevators that you could see go all the way up. Wow, I exclaimed. Nice place, said Mom. Yep, the show decided that after 3 packed missions in a row, they would put us up in a nice place for a change, said Mr. Suarez. Nothing less than we deserve, stated Sissy as she strutted by us swinging her purse. Who are you? I insisted. Excuse me, Sissy paused and questioned as she stared at me. You heard me. Who are you? And where is the Sissy we got to know out in the desert and in Mick? Mom said, walking up. Sissy made a face, shrugged her shoulders, and turned and flipped her purse over her shoulder so it would smack me right in the face as she walked away. There's Mick getting smacked. I was furious. It was all I could do not to yell at her. I just kept reminding myself that it wouldn't be long and Sissy the serpent would be out of my hair. After checking in, we went back to the Mythmobile to get the rest of our stuff. We got lucky enough to get rooms since the hotel was pretty busy. Nathan and I got to share a connecting room with my parents. Most of the crew was just down the hall, and I was glad Sissy and her parents were at the end of it. Once we got settled in, Mom and Dad made plans for dinner for everyone. Being so tired, everyone just wanted a place with good food. So we walked to a nearby restaurant while everyone chanted about what they planned to do the next day. Nathan and I made a list of things we wanted to see at the museum. We had no idea just how much we would see than we had planned on, nor what we were in for. We hadn't even thought about the possibility of there being any myths involved with historical things. We were just looking forward to seeing fascinating artifacts, but we were in for the shock of our lives. Dun dun dun.